I think before we end this segment, I think it'd be a bit short-sighted if we didn't mention two top laners who appear to be free agents this offseason. One of them raising their stock to new heights during the World Championship, and one of them not even being at the World Championship, and maybe his stock being the lowest it's ever been. So we have to talk about them. Two players who are very similar. Two players who had a great rivalry back in the 2019 World Championship. Nuguri, Damwon Gaming, the young rookie who has now become a world champion. And then we have TheShy, former world champion, who this year decided, no, we could say it wasn't his best year. We could say it was a suboptimal year for TheShy. But both of these players appear to be free agents. Nuguri, his contract ends on November 16th. TheShy, though his contract says in the global database that it goes on until 2021. He has come out to say on personal stream that is an option year that he appears to be declining, that he will be looking to open his options up, be it retirement, be it what have you, but he has said in a caveat in his stream that he wants to play the rest of his career with rookie, the player that he's played with, his entire pro career. So there's not many rookies around, so that might limit a lot of his options.
There's literally just the one.
There's literally this one.
There's no other player.
Maybe Chovy can change his name to rookie, but it appears like he's very steadfast on playing with his close friend and, former world champion partner. So Nuguri and TheShy, if you were a team, Emily, if you're a team looking for a top laner, these are obviously the two best top laners from the pool. No offense to Alfari, who I think is the best Western top laner, but Nuguri and TheShy are world champions. They've proven it on the top stage. If you're a team from South Korea, if you're an LPL team, if you're even an NA team possibly looking to import one of these two players, who would you go for? Let's say TheShy. I
go with Nuguri every time. Okay, not even like TheShy, like his performance stats. The reason is because I think Nuguri, he seems a lot more willing to take direction. Let's just say
malleable.
He seems like he's a lot more willing to fit on a team. Where I think TheShy is more of a type of player who you really need to play somewhat around him and his proclivities and his natural tendencies to play way too far up in lane, as we also saw from Bin, who is basically like mini TheShy. And when you play lane that way and you don't end up performing as well as you want to with your individual mechanics, you fall behind like 0-6 on Lucian. So I think TheShy is a lot more volatile player. One of my favorite things to come out of this Worlds actually was Cloud Templar on the Korean stream desperately trying to hold the mirror up to TheShy and be like, why are these making these decisions? And then basically being like, this is also you.
Yeah.
And like TheShy is just sitting there, he's like, man, I can't understand why they're doing this. I'm just like, oh my god. But yeah, I go with Nuguri. I think he seems to be a lot more malleable. Seems to be a lot more willing to play for the team. Not to take away anything from TheShy. I mean, I think they're both like incredibly mechanically gifted players, and they have a lot that they can bring to any team. As much as I just spent the past 2 minutes dunking on TheShy. But yeah, like that's why I go like he's younger, he seems more malleable, and just more I mean, I guess I'd argue his champion pool is larger, but I actually don't know. I do
because
think, I do.
If you force TheShy to do, he can.
I think neither of them have been fully explored. Nuguri because he has played so much for the team, and TheShy because he obviously has really specific champions he always wants to play. So that's why.
Yeah. If I'm an LCK, LPL, or even LCS team, I would pick Nuguri just because, as we said, he has shown. I mean, he was the player last year where he was Ben, he was TheShy, where he was very stubborn in his playstyle. He didn't like playing tanks. He would always play the carries. He would play Cuttomancy every single game. He would play greedy. He would play very far forward. He would have those 0-3 power spikes, and he would play impatient a lot of times in lane, always playing under the opponent's tower, regardless of what the map state is. And we saw in the last year he really did change, and he kind of learned, and he grew as a player, and it's why he went from a quarterfinalist to a world champion, because he He did not have the stats he did in 2019, but that wasn't what mattered to Nuguri, and he played a better all-around game, which we've seen from other top-lane world champions. But I will say this caveat, and I will say that I do think if in a world where the TheShy could go to a all South Korean team, a team where he could actually communicate with all 5 players seamlessly, and if he could, breathe a bit, if he could, listen to a coach a bit, open his champion pull up, be a bit more flexible. You don't have to go full, you don't have to,
he did play Ornn in
he played Ornn once. Yeah. I do think, like, if I'm saying who has the highest ceiling between TheShy and Nuguri, I still think TheShy has the highest ceiling. I still think TheShy mechanically, and I think even intelligence-wise, is one of the best players in the world. I think he has a peak of like Faker or Dade, where he has those very, very like S+ tier points where he is a player who can legitimately 1v9 in this current world where it's very difficult to 1v9. But as we said, Nuguri is much more malleable. He is a lot more adaptable. He's shown that he can grow as a player, and he's still young. TheShy is as well, which is kind of weird where people think like, oh, TheShy has been around for they're super young. I believe they're around the same age. So if you're an LPL team or an LCK team, I think Nuguri is the pick. I think both players could take you over the hump. I think TheShy, even if he does say I only want to pick rookie, he can be a bit difficult. I do think he's still worthy of being, a multi-million-dollar contract. I still believe him wholeheartedly. He is still a world champion. He still carried a team alongside Rookie to a world championship, so you can never look that down. But Nuguri, for me, would be the player I would pick. But I just want to see him on the team of all Korean speakers. I just want to see him, for once, have a seamless conversation. Like, he's always played with a handicap. It's a thing that no one really brings up, and it's also, you could say that it's his own fault. You see players like, we've seen so many South Korean players come in after him to the LPL and pick up Mandarin far faster than he has. So you could say TheShy, maybe you should have taken more lessons. You should not have that gap in communication if you're Chinese teammates this far into your career. But I just want to see a world one day where he does get to play on a team where communication isn't a problem, and we can really do see the full set of TheShy. But it really is a thing of like it's a his thing, right? He has to break down his own walls to get to that point, right?
I also think you're underestimating what his Mandarin is like, but also B, I think with TheShy, I think he's always going to be that type of player who you are basically relying on him to outperform his opponents mechanically regardless. And what I mean about that is, since he's pretty much been in China since the start of his career, he's one of those South Korean players I think of classify as an LPL player. And by that I mean, since he's always been in the LPL is a lot more player driven when it comes to almost everything in terms of having a say on what's going on in your team, what you're playing, draft, that kind of thing, when compared to South Korea. So I think if he had to go back, I think that might be a slight struggle point for him that I just wanted to point out, because I feel like he has had a lot of agency, particularly on IG, and working with Rookie. And because of that, I think it would be really difficult to return to a South Korean team for that reason.
So we're saying TS and TheShy is coming, guys. TS and TheShy obviously coming.
But that's 369 is great. What are you talking about?
No, I said TSM, Emily. TSM.
Oh, TSM.
TSM. No, TS. No, TS would not do that. TSM, though. TS and TheShy. How fun would that? Let's not even talk. We could go into like an hour of like fan fiction of how poorly that might go if that somehow what came to be. But Chovy, TheShy, Nuguri, SOFM, Barrel, all these days will be coming up on our free agency special, November 16th, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Me, Emily, the Wolf Bomb himself, Jacob Wolf, Ardo Cow, all four of us in a multi-hour, supersized version of our free agency show. It's going to be awesome. YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all the platforms. I cannot wait for it, Emily. Please check us out. It's going to be awesome. November 16th. Check us out. And if you want more news and highlights, keep it here on YouTube, on ESPN Esports YouTube channel.